Libra, hey, welcome to the greenhouse. Let's take a look at what you're currently working on and get some advice. Nice and simple. If there's a specific situation in your life that you're wanting to get some guidance around, please hold that in your mind now. And I'm gonna get your spread out, and then we shall discuss. Please take what resonates and leave what doesn't, Libra, as this is a general reading, all right? Okay, show me Libra's overall energy at this time. You have the Star and the Nine of Cups, gorgeous. Show me Libra's current challenge. Eight of Swords and the Chariot. We're gonna take that too, Knight of Swords, okay. What is Spirit's advice? We have the Tower, the Three of Swords, and the Four of Wands. Can I have a clarifier for this Four of Wands, please? Okay, and the likely outcome for Libra. You guys can't make your mind up on something, I think. But that's okay. Let's talk about your feelings, and then maybe you'll get some answers from doing that to know how to best show up in this situation. Right now, you're coming out the Star and the Nine of Cups. The Star is all about healing. It's a card of authenticity and being the most you can possibly be. This card also does follow the Tower, and you do have the Tower in your reading. So I just want to say, I think this is not predicting a Tower moment, but rather trying to change a perspective around a certain Tower moment. So bear with me through the reading, okay, Libra? But you're trying to get clear on what's going to make you happiest and being as authentic as humanly possible around that. The Nine of Cups can sometimes be a little bit of selfishness, or it can just be self-interest, right? So either you're like working through a little selfishness, maybe you've been a little my way or the highway, no judgment. Sometimes we fall into patterns, it is what it is. Or you're just trying to get very clear on what it is that you do want and need, so that you can heal whatever it is that blocks you from receiving those things. Because the Star card asks us to lay down our burdens, lay down our boundaries, and not to others, to Spirit, I should say, and meet Spirit in that space of, I'm ready to receive whatever information you need to give me, and I will alchemize it into medicine. I will turn it into what I need for myself to be able to move forward. What sacrifices do you require of me? What shifts do you require of me? What new routines do I need to start developing? Because it seems like what you're trying to break through right now is some kind of mental blockage, because your current challenge, they're giving us the Eight of Swords, which is a card of self-imposed limitations. This person is standing in a puddle, but because they can't see where they are, they're like, oh my God, is this a shoreline? Is the tide gonna rise? Am I gonna drown? Like all these things. But they're wrapped in cloth. Like they could easily rip off these constrictions, these binds, and walk forward and like just have wet shoes. You know what I mean? The only risk they run as far as getting hurt is concerned is if they were to go back and forth. So I feel like this is you trying to free yourself, trying to get out of whatever this mindset is, and you're trying to do it like quickly and abruptly, because we have the Chariot and the Knight of Swords. So when the Eight of Swords, the Chariot, and the Knight of Swords come out together in a challenge, it lets me know that like you keep going back and forth between being stuck and being like, no, I'm ready to move forward. So whether it's feeling stuck in a relationship and then be like, no, this is good for me, I want to move forward, or stuck in a job and be like, no, but it pays the bill, like whatever it is, there's this back and forth. And you're trying to get clear on it, but I think you're trying to get clear on it from a perspective of, I shouldn't say perspective, from an energy of frustration. Because I think you're like, I just want to be consistent, but Libra, like that's kind of your I don't want to say struggle through life, but it's kind of just the color of your journey, right? Because you are the scales, so you don't come into this world perfectly balanced. Your mission is to find a balance for yourself. 444 when I said that. So it's like, and that's the number of stability. So it's like you need to authenticate to know what you actually need to feel stable. And for some people, I think they have this idea where like stability and freedom aren't like coexisting things. But if you need freedom to feel stable, then like work on fusing those thoughts, right? Same thing with like people have an idea that free spirits can't also be like really loyal and monogamous, and it's like, oh well, if they're you know, for the wind, they're for the streets, and that's not the case at all, you know. Like they're people are complex, and there are ways of reconciling different sides of yourself without being like, it's gotta make sense, make it make sense. Because I feel like you're being a little aggressive with yourself, and I don't know if it's because maybe there's still some lingering I want to say drama, not trauma, but maybe it's trauma, and I'm just not wanting to say anything too intense. But there's something around you needing to look at maybe the ways that things have fallen apart in the past and have hurt you, because in Spirit's advice we do have the Tower and the Three of Swords, but it comes out with the Four of Wands. So it's like things that have impacted your stability, or if maybe you're someone that's had like chronically poor living situations, and I don't mean like financially poor, but just like you couldn't stand the people you were living with, or you always felt like maybe there is something to that like freedom and confinement situation. Maybe it was controlling parents or partners or whatever. So Spirit's advice to you is one of two things, right? And it's very much one of two things, because it also came out with the Two of Pentacles and the Devil. One, you cannot ignore if you are in a living situation that is no longer working for you, or you are in a relationship that is no longer working for you. Because the Tower, the Three of Swords, and the Four of Wands could very well be like Tower, like something that was believed to be stable, a marriage, a committed relationship, a partnership of some kind. The Tower struck and heartbreak happened. But I am kind of caught up by the fact that the Four of Wands came last and not first. So I'm not sure if this is like the Tower is coming, like the call is coming from inside the house, like the Tower is happening from within, and you're just like, listen, I can't invest right now. Like there are heavier things that I need to sort out and work on for myself. It's like one side is, no, I'm refusing to let the pains of my past dictate how this present situation I'm in plays out, and I'm gonna work through those three swords and find my stability again. But the other part is like, I can't just keep pushing forward. Like the devil's always, and not the literal devil, but like whatever this monkey on your back situation is, you can't outrun it. So it's like, do I pause this relationship? Do I accept this pain? Do I accept this loss and deal with some demons, and then hope maybe I can try again, whether with the same person or someone else? But it's something along the lines of like, do I deal with this now, or do I deal with this later? And Spirit's advice to you is to get very clear on what your prerogative is, where your virtues lie. Because for a lot of you, I think you have good enough situations, like things that are good, and like you're like, but I'm being called to this, I'm being called. Listen, some people are called to a healing journey, and it's like they're pulled out of near perfection. Like obviously it wouldn't be perfect or they wouldn't be called to that, but sometimes there's just a call that happens, you know. And sometimes relationships can adapt to support that call, or sometimes the call overtakes the commitment. And I feel like the more you try to ignore the call, the more you're kind of solidifying that this commitment isn't what we want or need. Because if you can't answer if you can't answer a call, and it's a call from Spirit to activate you to a higher timeline, to a higher level of self, and you can't accept that call when you're next to this person, then doesn't that tell you everything you need to know? Eek. Sorry, honey. But then you confuse the hell out of me, because I feel like you really do want this, even though like I think you have things you need to address within yourself, and it's kind of going to be up to the other person on whether or not they want to wait and see what Libra turns into after working on some things. But the likely outcome is the Lovers with the Emperor. So remember how we were kind of talking about getting like understanding if there's any selfishness in your energy? This is balancing out any control issues, you know, but I think it's also balancing out, like, I think in releasing something, you realize how you actually want to show up in partnership and who you are. And then you realize, like, okay, no, like, I'm not broken and not ready for commitment. I had shit to deal with. And now that I've understood what I actually need, I wasn't building in the right places. And now I know how I need to show up in relationships, whether new or old, to be able to feel free and feel in charge of myself, but not in charge of the connection. So you're definitely balancing something. And whether this is an ending of a relationship, which for a lot of you it is, and for some of you it isn't, you know, it's going to be different for everyone. This is general, so, you know, put it how it applies. But the World is at the bottom of the deck, and the World is the last card in the major arcana, so it lets you know that there is an ending here. King of Wands, Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck, so it could be an ending due to someone's arrogance. Like, maybe you're dealing with someone, and there was 11:11 on the clock when I said arrogance, so maybe you're dealing with someone that, like, you thought with that Four of Wands that it was stable, but it's not. They've got demons, or you've got demons that you need to address. And listen, if you're like, no, Sarah, it's their demons, I can appreciate that. Like, don't take stuff that doesn't belong to you, but also recognize that we align to people where there's some healing called within ourselves to address too. So if you know, call in somebody that's got a dark side, I would strongly encourage you to not push out any ideas of maybe your dark side, and rather welcome them in and kind of integrate them as well. So Libra, that is what I have for you. I think you're doing a good job healing and showing up authentically. Don't bend. Like, if you know what you need and your needs aren't being met, even if you want it to work, you can't change. You can change your behavior, but you can't change your code. You know what I mean? And if your code says this is what I need, you gotta listen. And if this person can't give you that, you know, that's an unfortunate moment in love, right? Like, it's part of me wants to say that's life, and the other part of me wants to say that's growing up, and another part of me wants to say what's meant for you won't leave you. So there could even be a chance to, like, separate, figure yourself out, get in charge of your own shit, and then the other person is also doing the same thing, and then you can come together, Emperor and Empress. But right now, somebody's got a lot of hangups, and there's a rain cloud that taints every sunny moment, and it's just got to be addressed. So whether it's you or your person, good luck with that. And I hope you got something out of this reading. If you did, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it, especially as a newer channel. And feel free to drop a comment on how this applies to your life. I do love hearing from you guys. All right, thanks, Libra. I'll see you next time. Bye.